Brave Scions, you have my gratitude for aiding my people in this most trying of times. Alas, matters here at the Megaduta prevent me from meeting you all in person. As a token of my appreciation, I have arranged for a feast to be held in your honor. May it nourish you in preparation for the trials ahead. Such are the words of Master Vertra. The feast he speaks of awaits you at Meridian. Pray make your way there whenever your business here is done. We thank you for your kindness indeed. I was hoping we might find a place to discuss our next course of action, and this seems an ideal venue. And to you, Dragonfire, there is someone we had hoped to introduce to you in particular. I am loath to detain you further. Might you spare a moment of your time? Personal invitations, knowing full well your service are in the highest demand right now. This must be important. Worry not. We'll save some food for you, so take all the time you need. God, I'm hungry. Rude. I'm gonna get cold food. Thank you, friend. Whenever you are ready, please join me in the Aetherite Plaza. I shall go on ahead. Well, I guess you're giving me the opportunity, I'm assuming, to turn on the Aetherite. So we went from remembering the stories of the past Final Fantasy games to now doing stories of Ghostbusters. And now this doesn't seem as dark. Okay, access to the Aetherite you see there has been restricted to a select few ever since the tower first appeared. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience, but it was deemed too dangerous to permit the free movement of visitors at a time of emergency, a risk we could not take. In light of recent developments, however, the satrap has decided that such restrictions would only hinder our efforts to combat the final days. As such, I would encourage you to attune with the Aetherite before proceeding along the corridor. Yes, let me do it! Get out of my way! Touch the crystal. Put my germs all over it. There. Passing all the germs onto your crystal. Okay, so now I need to go down this hallway to that room in the back there where they're going to trap me and punish me while everybody else is being tortured in the hall. That being said, did I touch all the crystals? Yes, I did. Okay, talk to you now. Ah, you must be wondering what this place is. You stand in the hall of the Radiant Host, from where our leadership oversees all of Razadhan's military operations. Sundrop, our destination, lies just ahead. Okay, what do you have for us?
Alright,
I'm up. Change.
Peace out.
Later. Welcome to the Sundrop.
Why are you guys in? Why are you Nolda?
I'm not Nolda.
There's magic to be done here.
Welcome to Sundrop. Without further ado, allow me to introduce you to Oh, so you're the famous Dragonfire. Hey, I knew it the moment you stepped through the door. You've the look of one who's walked through hell. Purabat, please, you are speaking to the satrap's honored guest and savior of our people. Can you not show a modicum of respect? What disrespect is there in paying a fellow warrior a compliment? We're all friends here, or will be soon enough. More formally than for the benefit of my countrymen, it is a pleasure to have you with us, O great champion of Eorzea, Scions of the Seven Dawn, warrior of light, and all-around good egg, I'm sure. This talk of egg reminds me I'm late for dinner. What is this place? Who are you? I want to say that one. A woman after my own heart. I like that. Don't you worry. I'll keep it short. There's just a thing or two we'd like you to remember. First of all, about the room you're standing in now. Razadhan welcomes delegates from other lands to oversee trade and diplomatic dealings. Then there are military matters to discuss, which is why all these officers are stationed here in Sundra. Imagine you're more than familiar with each of the nations they represent, yes? We got representatives from Doma, Ulda and Alamigo, Limsa, excuse me, Ridania. Geez, their gear is so much better. And last but never let it be said, least Ishgard. They're the eyes and ears and the mouths that bridge the distance between Razadhan and the water. Respective homelands. We use this brief respite to share the details of our plight with our overseas counterparts. And wouldn't you know it, all of their leaders request a few words from you, specifically you're a woman in high demand, eh? And so would you mind regaling us with your own account? Indulge us before you indulge yourself. I thank you for the report. The conditions under which men are turned to beasts, the etheric anomalies you have observed, you have given us much to consider. It is concerning that the first transformation apparently occurred before the skies turned red, which is contrary to what one would expect. Thankfully, the information you conveyed to Lucia upon your return from the moon has already proved invaluable. As soon as reports of the calamity here in Thavmir reached the Grand Company of Eorzea and our far eastern allies, our leaders knew at once that final days were indeed upon us. They began taking steps to assess the extent of the phenomenon spreads. Our agents were able to confirm that for the time being, the skies burn only over the Bounty, including this island and Corvus. Alas, this is of little comfort. Aye, all throughout Allied lands there have been reports of people transforming into hideous beasts. From what little we have learned, these infections are similar in nature to that involving the merchants of Khazal. As was the case here, the victims underwent the change prior to the heavens being set ablaze. And so while the burning skies have yet to manifest beyond the Bounty, the transformations do not appear to be subject to any similar restrictions anyone anywhere overcome by despair to turn, then nowhere is safe. That's about the size of it. Speaking of which, we ought to give these creatures a name, don't you think? Here at Razahans, we're taking to calling the first change, which tend to be the biggest, blasphemies. As fitting a name as any to ensure clarity in the future communications, we shall urge Arcanos to adopt this terminology. Our leaders have taken measures to deal with the threat to the best of our abilities. Each nation has assembled their own groups of elite soldiers to put down these so-called blasphemies and their spawns as when they appear. At the same time, they are doing all in their power to put the people's minds at ease and prevent panic and fear from spreading. That said, brave souls with the strength and fortitude to fell these terrible fiends are not easily found. Just so, and it is for that very reason that we turn to you. Pray lend us your strength and help us to slay the blasphemies that plague our homelands. Now, you don't have to give your reply before dinner. You should also mention that each blasphemy seems to possess wildly different characteristics. What works well against one may serve you poorly against another. So before you go rushing off to save everyone's day, have a word with the delegates. They tell you what to expect. And with that, I do believe our friends here has a feast to attend. Spare a thought for us while you're tucked into all the fine cuisine, eh? You've gained access to the role quest for Endwalker. A separate quest line and story is now available for tanks, melee, DPS, physical, range DPS, and magic. Okay. Finally got my role quest unlocked. Nice. That I've been waiting for. So there's one over there for me. And you. Pray forgive Shurabat Arunish. She can be a bit boisterous at times, but it is simply her nature. Anyway, my apologies for keeping you from your hard-earned rest. You will be rejoining your companions, yes? Do you know the way to them? I know Razahan like the back of my hand. I have a terrible sense of direction. I know. I'm good. I don't need your assistance. Glad to hear it. You've become familiar with our fair city. You'll be pleased to hear that all drinks are on the house, so order whatever suits your fancy. And with that, I must return to my post. On behalf of all the Radiant hosts, I thank you and your friends once more for lending your strength and courage to Razahan in our time of need. We will endeavor to fight the good fight to the end, that we might honor A1's legacy and serve Messer Virtua well. You have my word that your efforts will not be in vain. The Gridanian delegate is in urgent need of a stout defender to help combat a new threat to his homeland. Tank quest. You would think they would go to Ul'dah. I have come on behalf of the Twin Adders to enlist the aid of accomplished fighters. Small folks cower in their homes for fear of the unprecedented threat to the Twelveswood, a blasphemy. It strikes quickly and with deadly precision. Before returning to the shadows whence it came, try as we might, we have yet to devise a means to track it, much less slay it. Several brave souls search for it even now, but their chances would improve greatly if they had a stout protector by their side. Judging by your reputation, I dare say you're precisely the woman we seek. What say you? Will you serve as the shield that stands between Gridania and certain doom? Protect the realm is what I do. You've made it difficult to refuse. Protecting the realm. I will take that as an enthusiastic yes. Make haste to the adder's nest and report to my superior. All Gridania shall pray for your success. I will do that in due time. I need to continue. So I need to go over there. So click that. Go over there. And have a feast in the place where it all started. Welcome. When the satrap asked us to entertain a party of honored guests, I was wondering who it might be. This is a lovely surprise to say the least. By the way, I heard all about Kazal from your friend Grahati. I understand there was nothing that could be done, but I was heartened to hear he meant us no harm. I cannot thank you enough for dispatching the beasts. As the smallest token of our thanks, your food and drinks tonight are Mildred's treat. Speaking of which, what shall I start you off with? A piping hot mug of chai, please. A glass of your finest local spirits. Water, just water. I want a glass of your finest local spirits. As you was, pray join your friends and I will bring you your drink. Welcome back. Whatever did the Radiant want with you, pray tell. Our allies have sent military delegates. That's news to me. Mind sharing the details?
So blasphemies now plague all the realm.
It will only get worse if what Father said is true, as it did in Amarant.
If that's our model, then shouldn't we expect the effects to grow more severe as it feeds off its own spread? As if people transforming into those monstrosities wasn't bad enough. If the flora and fauna, if the land itself turned against us.
No one would survive.
Here's your order, friend. May you find comfort in these dark times.
Where do we go from here? If there's one thing we've learned, fighting blindly and simply reacting to what comes will accomplish nothing. We must find a solution that addresses the fundamental cause. Before our strength is exhausted, before this crisis spirals out of control. Is there something, anything we've overlooked?
If there is an answer, Hydaelyn herself will have it. 'Twas she who bound Zodiac and forestalled the final days. Alas, we have heard naught from her since the Tower of Babel. Whether she cannot or will not speak, I can only speculate. Even the flower she gave us is no more.
In our time, we called it ellipsis. You would do well to remember the name.
So advised the Watcher. But what could be the significance of that name? It is entirely unfamiliar to me.
To me as well. It meant something to the ancients, though. In our time.
Most surely. Yet I do not recall a single mention of it in the records of Anida.
Another dead end. And quite literally. It's not as if there are any ancients living we could go and ask.
Not alive as such, but not quite dead. Elidibus. I sealed him in the white aura site of the Crystal Tower back on the first. Contained within that reservoir of ether that maintains it, ether that is returned little by little to the sea, naught may remain of his soul. However, if part of it lingers, we might be able to speak with him there. We can no longer make that journey, but you, my friend, still can.
It's worth a try. It would be an opportunity to look in on the others as well. If there is truly no other way, I will say that one, just to see if the blasphemy has ended up over there.
Thank you, my friend. That would mean much to me.
If nothing else, should we learn the first is safe, we'll have that much more reason to keep fighting the good fight. That said, the odds are not in our favor, to say the least. Which is why we're fortunate to have Urianger up there on the moon, working hard to make all the necessary preparations for our departure, should it come to it.
And why we have nothing to lose by staying the course till the last instant.
Indeed. To the last, let us all do what we can. I will consult with Master Matoya and see if she knows of a way to reach Hydaelyn from the ethereal sea.
And I will visit the nation's leaders and attempt to ascertain how far the final days have progressed elsewhere.
Keep me abreast of your findings. I can seek out and slay the worst of the immediate threats, if only to slow the spread.
Unease, terror, despair. Try as we might to suppress them, these emotions will return to harry us time and time again. But when they do, remember this. Your friends and loved ones are out there somewhere, sharing in your struggle. You are not alone.
So ends the brief respite before the next revelation. Yes, so much left for you to see. Where beginning ends, and end begins.
Oh, so much. Okay, Thancred. Now then, is there anything we've forgotten to mention? Or are your arms and armor in good order? In that case, it's time we each attend to our task. And when you arrive on the first, give my regards to Rain. Tell her I miss her. Grahati has something he wishes to give to you. Take this dragonfire in my spirit vessel. Empty now, of course, but it should allow you to operate the tower systems in the umbilicus. If even the smallest fragment of Lidibus's essence remains, it should be possible to locate it. As far for access to the umbilicus, pray seek out Lean for assistance. Chances are she still stands watch at the Incensor's gate. Should she or anyone else ask after me, tell them I am living my life to the fullest, that I am happy, hardships and all. While we had best be on our respective ways, God's willing, we will see each other again ere long. Okay, so that is that. Now wants me to go to the Crystarium. Okay, back on the first. Flying to meet the other bunny girl. It's a hunt. That is a hunt. Hey, Zero. Hello, Lean. Dragonfire, you are returned. Have you been well, you and the others? As well as can be. We've no shortage of troubles, but we're well enough. As well as can be. Don't want to create panic over here. Full glad am I to hear that. I trust my lord is enjoying himself. He said this to you? These exact words? Oh, to know that he is happy. It fills my heart with joy. Thank you, Dragonfire, for taking care of him. When next you see him, please tell him not to overexert himself, futile a request though it is. And tell him that all is well here. The peace you gifted us continues, and we work hard to build new lives for ourselves. In the course of this, we occasionally bicker, but we've never been more optimistic for the morrow. If I had to mention one dilemma, it would be the question of our governance. Even as we speak, debate rages on over how we should run the city in the Exarch's absence. Most are of a mind that the Settlement Council should continue to oversee the general running of the Crystarium, while representatives are elected to determine policies and handle diplomacy. Thus far, nothing is set in stone, but however we choose to proceed, we will not replace our Lord. No one could. Have we recently observed any unusual phenomena? No, I cannot say there have been. Curious that you should ask me this question, though. Some days ago, Ring came and asked the very same. She was rather unsettled in stark contrast to how cheerful she has been of late. Oh no. She and other Crystarium youth just hosted a festival, you see. It proved so popular that there are already plans for another celebration, one much bigger than the first. Between her preparations for the festival and the restorations of the empty, she struck me as happy and full of life. Okay, good. So when I saw her in a state of such worry, I couldn't help but feel worried in turn, especially since she wouldn't tell me what troubled her. I dare say she would be more willing to confide in you. May I ask you to broach and subject with her? You wish to enter the umbilicus? Very well, I shall fetch the key at once and take the opportunity to find Rain. Please wait for me in the city in front of the Cabinet of Curiosity. Shall we say I will be along as soon as I can. Okay, so into the Crystarium. Zero's too lazy to walk 2 feet. And now we're going down there, but I don't have to go all the way down there. I just need to use this. And... is that the right one? I think so. Okay, and there we are. Destination. The following events cannot be skipped. You may wish to cancel any pending duty finder registrations. Wait for Linus. Do my old eyes deceive? Is that truly Dragonfire? Ha, it is. Full glad am I to see you hale and whole, my friend. What a wonderful surprise it is to have you back with us, and at this most opportune time. In case you haven't heard, we are planning to produce a tome chronicling events from the flood to the knight's return. For this project, we intend to draw upon records kept by the world's people. Historical and contemporary first-hand accounts will be the centerpiece of the tome, but yours would be the one to crown them all. I've been asked to contribute a chapter on the soul, a subject that is key to understanding much of your endeavors. In the council of developing the spirit vessel, I gained valuable insight into travel beyond the rift, knowledge that will allow me to at least to attest to your existence and deeds. There is no end to the questions I would ask you, but if you could indulge me just one for now. In your quest to restore the night, you faced many a formidable foe. Among them, who offered you the greatest struggle? Titania, driven mad by light and loneliness. Valtteri in his misguided self-righteousness. Hades, who bore the burden of his people. This may come as a surprise, but no, none of them. And his misguided self-righteousness. That was a tough one. Driven mad by light and loneliness. Let's go with that one. Ah yes, Titania has fallen, the fallen fairy king. Against such a fiendish, playful opponent, I can well imagine that even the warrior of darkness must have struggled. But you succeeded in setting them free, and your victory proved a pivotal moment in your quest. We will see that it features prominently in the tome. I know you'd love to talk her ear off, Morin, but we really should be on our way. Those documents from Eulmore won't collect themselves. Of course, of course. And afterwards, would you care to join me for tea? I was hoping you might clarify a few points in your treatise. Till next time then, do tell the others to look after themselves. Our overzealous friend in particular, remind him not to overexert himself again and again till his ears fall off, if that's what it takes for him to take it to the heart. Yes, is that the Warrior of Darkness? Ah, the little ones! It's her, it's really her. What are you doing here? If you're going to battle, I can give you some medicine. I made it myself. Best know, Riki, you only give her a stomachache. We come to see Morin to get his advice. One of the guards finally agreed to teach us how to fight, but first we need to choose a fighting style. While I know that I want to be a mage, their kill isn't sure. Magic isn't really my thing, so I was thinking of taking up the axe, or the sword, or maybe the bow. They all seem alright, but it's hard to decide, so I thought I'd ask Morin. He knows about lots of things. He isn't here. Aw. Oh, why don't you have the Warrior of Darkness choose for you? What do you think suits our girl best? Axe, sword, or bow? Well, they already got a mage, they got a healer, so now they need a tank. Somebody to stand in front. For smiting your opponents, the axe. For protecting your friends, the sword. For fighting and hunting both with the bow. Protecting your friends that you have there. The sword. If you took up the sword, you could be just like Brennan, the Warrior of Light. I love that tale. Let's borrow the book today. It's really popular though. I hope it's still there. Thanks for helping me decide Warrior of Darkness. I'll start with the style and maybe try something else later on. And when I get really strong, I hope to have a bout with you. Okay. Such fun she's been having basking in the admiration of musty old bookworms and wide-eyed younglings. But does she spare a thought for me? Of course not. Hello, Fayul. I waited and waited and waited, but she won't so much as acknowledge the presence of her beautiful branch, even though they're right here. Such a heartless thing our sapling is. Cold and cruel and heartless. Oh, you're hiding. Oh, Fayul, I need you. Oh, faithful Fayul, loveliest of branches, how I have missed you. Don't you have more important things to do, your majesty? I missed you. If you truly miss me, you should have cried for me at the top of your lungs the instant you arrived. To make up for it, you will call with twice the passion next time. Though there to be a next time, you've some few struggles to overcome. So, adorable sapling, the world is on the verge of destruction, is it? How do I know this? Joined as we are, spying on you is as simple as sliding down the back of a rainbow. With that, I could aid you in your quest, but the fate of we Fae folk is bound in to that of the star. Whether it goes, so too do we. Follow such is our way. The most I could do for you is spare you the pain by gifting you the sweetest of eternal dreams. But if escapes not to your liking, then you must struggle with your fellow mortals. But here are the ones you were waiting for. I wonder what manner of conclusion awaits at tale's end. My apologies for the delay. Fire, it's so wonderful to see you again. You doubtless have much catching up to do, so I shall leave you to it. I've taken the liberty of unlocking the umbilicus, and you may enter at your leisure. Hello, Rain. What do you have to talk to me about? I'm relieved to hear that everyone is well. I've had this feeling like a pit in my stomach, and I was afraid that something might have happened. Maybe I'm overthinking things, but it's just that. I'm the Oracle of Light, but I've never spoken with Heidelin, never once heard her call. Even so, I've always had this feeling deep inside me, a connection to something immense. These past few days, though, the connection has wavered, as if that immense something was distant, then close, then distant again. And then the other night, I was jolted awake by the feeling it had been completely severed. Wanting some fresh air, I went to open the window, and to my horror, the sky was ablaze, like during the star shower. But then I blinked and everything was normal. The next day no one said a thing, no one else had seen what I have seen. As far as I could tell, nothing was out of the ordinary. I began to wonder if it was a figment of a half-remembered dream. What are you not telling me? I have to know, please. It doesn't matter how terrible it is. It wasn't my imagination then. The doom we witnessed in Amaranth has come again. I can't believe it. Like I told you before, all is well here in the first. So don't worry about us. Please look only to the threat before you. We're fine right now, and even if we weren't, we've learned how to survive. Should the final days reach us here as well, you may be assured we won't go down quietly. No, we hold on to you, hold on until you can find a way to save all our worlds. So long as you continue your fight, so too will we, united in purpose beneath a blazing sky.